Baby, you're the one for me. Baby, you are meant for me. I'm madly in love with you. Baby, you're the one for me. Baby, you are.
Hello and welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be doing the very much requested chinchilla care guide. We're going to be going over the cage setup, basic care facts, and of course what you should be feeding your chinchilla. I'll also be telling you guys some fun facts about chinchillas because why not? So before we jump into the video, I want to quickly tell you guys this because this video is going to be long, but I am going to be doing a Q&A type video very soon. So if you guys have any questions about me, my animals, whatever, go ahead, leave those in the comments of this video, the last video, as well as my Instagram. If you don't follow me on Instagram, I'll put my username right there. It's also going to be in the description as well as at the end of this video. Alright, let's jump into this video because again, like I said, it is a long one. Alright, so chinchillas. They can live up to 10 years in captivity and are found in South America. They've lived in many places such as Bolivia, Peru, Chile, and Argentina. And if you guys didn't know, I'm Argentinian. But today, colonies in the wild are known mostly in Chile. So chinchillas have adapted to live in the mountains and rocky habitats, at altitudes 12,000 feet and higher. They're known to inhabit the Andes and are actually named after a Native American tribe called the Chinchillas, who originally used chinchilla's fur to produce clothes. And while we're on the topic of their fur, chinchillas have the softest fur of any mammal. Their fur is so soft and luxurious that one of the first reasons that the Chinchillas hunted chinchillas wasn't for their meat, but for their fur. It's very dense with about 50 to 80 hairs growing out of one follicle. Now compare that to humans, which only has about 2 to 3 hairs out of one follicle. So to maintain that thick fur, chinchillas need to take a bath. And no, not your regular bath of water or any kind of wetness. A dust bath. And you may be thinking,
wait, how does taking a bath in dust clean their fur at all?
well, their fur is so dense that if it does get wet, it will have a really hard time completely drying out. Since they live in pretty cool temperatures, they could potentially freeze to death if they don't dry completely. This is why they take dust baths instead. You have to think about it as a chinchilla using dry shampoo. The dust helps to pull out and get rid of any dirt or oils that are trapped in their thick fur. So now I keep telling you about chinchillas getting a dust bath and all of that. I'm going to show you right now, and if you see my other videos, then of course you've seen this before, but it is the cutest thing ever watching a chinchilla get a dust bath. So we're going to cut to that real quick.
Baby, one for me. Baby, you are meant for me. I'm madly in love with you. Baby, one for me. Meant for me. I'm madly in love with you. Never, never let you go.
Alright, so chinchillas don't really shed to begin with, but they can shed their fur in large clumps if they feel threatened or under attack. They do what's called a fur slip, and this is not the same thing as shedding. But if your chinchilla does suddenly start losing clumps of hair, this is most likely because it's stressed, frightened, or has been mishandled. Now this isn't the best for them, but it won't necessarily harm your chinchillas as long as you fix what's stressing them out. Although the fur will look really weird and not look as healthy. But don't worry, the fur will completely grow back in about 6 months or so. Now because chinchilla's fur is so thick, they can actually overheat very quickly. Chinchillas are very sensitive to heat and humidity, which is why they live in the Andes where the weather is cool and dry. They are best in temperatures from 59 degrees to 77 degrees Fahrenheit, but even that's pushing it. Now you might be thinking,
Wait, Briana, don't you live in Southern California where it gets way hotter than 77 degrees? How do you keep your chinchillas from overheating and comfortable?
well, I constantly have a rotation of chinchillers every morning and night. What's a chinchiller, you may be wondering? A chinchiller is a granite granite slab that you freeze and put in your chinchilla's cage. If your chinchilla is feeling too hot, it can go and sit on the granite slab and cool itself down. Alright, so these are chinchillas.
Oh my god, my hand.
So this one is really, really frozen. I just took it out of the freezer and it's killing my hand. So let me put this down for a second. This one I actually just took out of their cage, so it's room temperature. But this is a chinchilla. This is actually the exact one that you would be buying in a store. This one I think I got from PetSmart, but they sell them in PetSmart, Petco, Teresa's. Any pet store near you should have chinchillas. And like I said, all it is a thin granite slab. Stick it in the freezer, you put it in their cage, and they sit on it. Now this one is kind of more of a DIY chinchilla. This one is still granite. My dad actually made this. He was working at a job site and they were redoing granite countertops, and this was some of the old granite, so they were going to throw it away, so he just took a hammer, took a piece. DIY chinchilla for me. But yeah, same thing. Granite slab, stick it in the freezer, put it in their cage. There you go. I'm actually going to put this one in their cage right now because it's, like I said, about time to rotate because that one's room temperature. So I'm going to show you guys what they look like when they're using it. So it's kind of late at night and it's nice and cool in my room right now. So they might not use their chinchilla just because they're not overheating. But I mean, you guys get the gist of it. They literally just sit on it. They look like this, but on there. So. Alright, so now that we finished with the chinchillas, let's get on to the cage setup. So chinchillas use their tails for balance and are very high jumpers and amazing climbers. And in the wild, they live in rocky and mountainous areas, so there they're going to have to know how to jump from really high places, like 6 feet high. And now I know that doesn't sound like super high to you or me, but when you're this big, it's a pretty high distance to jump from and land gracefully. And like I said, they also use their tail to help them balance and move and climb from area to area. So with this in mind, let's talk about the kind of cage you're going to want to get for your chinchilla to be happy. You want something with obviously enough space, but mainly height. Like I said, they love to jump and climb, so multiple levels in a cage is a must-have for them. Now, before showing you my chinchilla's cage setup, I do want to go over a few things that you're going to have to remember when putting things into your chinchilla's cage. Now, chinchillas grow their teeth for life. They never stop growing, and you're going to need some things to help them wear their teeth down. Their teeth can grow as much as 12 inches per year. Now this is why it is very important to give your chinchilla safe things to chew on. Chewing helps maintain and file down their teeth, but again, the key word here is safe things to chew on. If left unattended, chinchillas will literally get into anything they can get their little paws on. This includes electrical cords and obviously furniture, which can either seriously harm them or even kill them. I do recommend wood shoes and lava stone shoes, which I will be showing you guys in just a second. I'll also throw in some cardboard from paper towel or toilet paper rolls. Now these don't really do anything for their teeth because they're so soft, but they absolutely love tearing them apart, and I do like to stuff some hay in there, which I'll go over why you need that in a second, just so they can have a little more fun trying to get their food out. Alright, so with all of that, let's get into their cage and how I set it up. obviously these things here, anything that looks wood is the wood chews. I use wooden houses because I just don't trust plastic houses because again, they will chew anything and plastic scares me. I'd rather them chewing wood than plastic. So I have hanging toys here for them, a little hammock thing they like to go in, the glass water bottle, their hay and food feeder, a house, some wood chews. Then on the first level, we've got some more wood chews. This is one of the lava stone chews I was talking about. It's really, really coarse. This helps grind their teeth down really well. And then this is another lava chew. This is also a little coarse, but it's a lot softer than this one right here. This one they just like to destroy, so I always get these for them. And then some more wood chews, paper towel roll that they just like to destroy, the hanging hay ball. This is a chinchilla ledge. It's completely wood. They chewed the crap out of it, but this is just in here because, again, they love to chew. So anything they can chew, try to put it in there for them. And another hammock. So that is their cage. Miki loves to pick this up and throw it because it's got a little wooden ball in there. Yeah, that's their cage. Alright, now that you know what kind of cage setup you're going to need for them, let's talk about their diet. Chinchillas are vegetarians and have very sensitive stomachs, which means they have specific foods regulated just for them to maintain their health. They are also one of the animals that partake in coprophagy, which means they eat their own feces. I know that sounds disgusting, but this process is actually completely normal and necessary for them to get important nutrients into their bodies. So because of their sensitive stomachs, you might be thinking, well, what should I be feeding them to keep them healthy and happy? Well, luckily there are tons of commercial foods that are especially made for chinchillas that you can find in many, if not all, pet stores. They are produced in pellet form, which just makes it easier for your pet to consume, and include the correct amounts of proteins, fats, and roughage that they need. I highly recommend feeding Oxbow brand food because it's got the best ingredients to keep your chinchillas healthy and happy. Now make sure food is constantly available for them because chinchillas are always eating. Now another very important part of their diet is hay. Hay provides the roughage that your chinchilla needs and is a very essential part of their diet. It also can help with wearing their continuously growing teeth down, which is a plus. There are a few different types of hay to choose from, but honestly Timothy and alfalfa hay are the best choices. Make sure to always use clean, dry, fresh hay for them, and getting a hay rack system will really help with that. If any of the hay gets on the floor, they will end up peeing on it, and if they don't have any fresh hay, they're going to start eating that, which again is soaked in pee, which is not good to consume. So I'm going to show you really quick my hay rack slash food bowl thing I have for them, and then the food I feed them as well. Alright, so this is my hay rack and food bowl thing. The hay goes in here, the food goes in here. I also have another thing that I put hay in, which I'll show you guys what that looks like in just a second. You don't have to use this exact double thing. I just like it because it saves some space. You can use a separate hay rack, a separate food bowl, whatever. Just as long as you keep the hay and food somewhere where they can stay nice and clean. So the hay I use is just a bulk bag of Timothy hay, no specific brand that I know of. I buy it bulk from the Guinea Pig Rescue. And then the food is Oxbow, and I'll show you the bag in just a second. But it is the Chinchilla Essentials formula, which I also buy in bulk because bulk is way cheaper. So I'm going to show you how I put it in here. Pretty self-explanatory, but you know what? For the sake of the video, I'm going to show you anyway. So this is the hay ball I have. It's the other thing I put the hay in. This just makes it more fun for them to get it out because as they're trying to pull the hay out, it swings. So just little things like this that they can play with is good for them. Alright, now this part should be a known fact for anyone who's owned any type of animal, but just in case, they should always have a source of fresh water. A stoppered water bottle is a great way to constantly supply clean and fresh water, but I would highly recommend getting a glass water bottle instead of a plastic because, like I said, anything that they can get their hands on and chew, they will chew. Now, this isn't a necessary part of their diet, but that doesn't mean they don't love an occasional treat from time to time. And keep in mind, they are vegetarian and have very sensitive stomachs, so this means you can't just give them anything you want, although they will eat it. I personally give them one raisin each, once, maybe twice a week, but that's it. No more than that though, because again, chinchillas have very sensitive stomachs and sugar is one of the things that can really upset them. There are some chinchilla treats sold in pet stores, but I really haven't found any that the ingredients are completely 100% safe for chinchillas. Remember, just because it says it's specifically for that animal doesn't mean it's 100% safe for that animal. Always, always read the ingredients for any of your animal's foods, but especially with sensitive animals like chinchillas. Although if you don't want to give them any treats, that's totally fine too. It's not necessary for their diet, and if they go their whole life without having one, it's not that big of a deal. But again, like I said, I do like to give them one small raisin once a week for a treat. So I'm going to show you guys what they look like when they're eating it because it's really, really cute watching them eat anything. But I'll just show you, it's really cute. So we went over the cage setup, basic care facts, feeding, as well as some fun facts just about chinchillas so you can better understand where they come from and how to take care of them. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I had a lot of fun making it. I hope this helped with anyone who's wanting to get a chinchilla or has a chinchilla and has some questions about it. If you guys do have any other questions, go ahead, leave them in the comments down below. If it's specifically about this video, I'll answer them in the comments. Again, if it's just questions for my Q&A video later down the line, I'm going to save them and answer them in a later video. So if I don't get to your question, that's why. Alright, so I'm going to end the video here because it is super, super long and I'm losing my sunlight as I speak right now. So again, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys have a great day, night, whenever you're watching, and I will definitely see you in the next one. Bye!